All right, on this stage you will see there is 1, 2, 3, 4 barricades, and there are downrange 3 steel targets, 1 mini Q, 1 mini IPSC, and 1 mini Q. At buzz, our shooter will start with either at the left or far right barricade. When they start, they will engage the downrange targets with 1 hit each from the strong shoulder, right hand. Then they move to the next barricade and engage each target, right shoulder, right hand. Next barricade, right shoulder, right hand. Last barricade, right shoulder, right hand. They will now transition the rifle to their left shoulder, left hand. Engage the targets, 1 hit each. They will then move to the next barricade, engage the targets, left shoulder, left hand, 1 hit each. Third target, left shoulder, 1 hit each. Last target, left shoulder, left hand, 1 hit each. So this is an ambidextrous rifle handling skill drill, moving either left to right or right to left, up to the shooter's option where they start. Hit. 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 Oh, wow. Hit. Hit.
Then shoot your strong side. Hit. Doesn't matter which side it is. Hit. 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 Yeah, I think it was great.
Always the last round.
All right, so the final stage of the match. Yeah. How'd it go?
I'm still pretty happy with this thing.
Dude, you rocked that thing. You actually shot more accurate right-handed than left-handed. What was going on?
The reason for that is I was paying more attention. When I was shooting wrong-handed, weak shoulder for me, I was trying to be really careful. It's
Right.
like, I'm not as stable. I don't want to burn up all of my ammo. I don't want to have to do a second reload. So take my time, get the hits, and I did. And then I transitioned back to left-handed, and unfortunately, my attitude at that point was, all right, left-handed, it's all on now.
Yep.
And I proceeded to miss a lot.
Yeah, well, no, you did fine. You had a pretty good score.
I had a lot more misses than I would have liked.
You know what? I gotta
And
say,
ending with needing one last cartridge after a mag change on a freaking HK, that kind of...
at a match, if you're ever gonna run out of ammunition, it's when the last target, last hit's required. It is like written, it's like biblical in nature.
Yeah.
It's canon. It happens at every match, every stage, all the time, unless you proactively reload.
Yeah.
However, your proactive reload actually might have led to it.
Sort of, yeah. I did a proactive reload, and I checked after I was done. I had one round left in that mag that I pulled out.
Oh.
So in theory, if I'd shot that last round, but yeah, it's whatever.
Well, I don't have a lot to
That's
say
all
about.
what ifs.
I don't have a lot to say about this, except that the puff gun 60 round quad stack loaded all the way to 60.
It's still working.
Now ran for 2 stages. So my first stage of this match was completely a disaster. It was strictly nothing more than a gas setting that had to be tested on the clock.
Yeah.
Testing it off the clock
And
has to be on the clock.
And I think the other thing that's worth pointing out about that is you had adjusted that basically for minimum recoil.
I had gone to minimum recoil and then actually given it a couple clicks
Okay.
to give it a little more energy. But I actually was, I just underestimated it.
What I would recommend for people in general, if you have adjustable systems like that, is don't adjust them all the way down to one extreme or the other extreme. Give it a good amount of middle ground to ensure that something like this doesn't happen.
Yes. Now, also tested on the clock before a main match.
Obviously.
Now,
Yeah.
what I'm going to say about that is I thought I was okay. I was ejecting about 2 feet at 2 o'clock. I'm now ejecting about 4 feet at 2 o'clock, which, by the way, is still a lot less than a traditional AK. And the recoil is absolutely mitigated as a result. So I'm still getting the benefit. I just had to do it. And this is why we have to beta test this kind of stuff before a big event.
Yeah.
And I have to contend, it's weird, but this stuff happens on the clock in a way that it does not happen outside of the clock.
It totally does.
It doesn't make sense, but it's a law of nature.
Yeah. And that is, in fact, a big part of why I was excited about bringing this into a match.
Yes.
It's like, we did some shooting on the range. Seems really nice. What's going to happen? In addition, this was made by basically a small scale HK manufacturer, Brethren Arms.
Yep.
And the gun looks good, works at the range, and then there's always this question before you go promoting them a bunch of what's going to happen on the clock, in the dirt, in the dust. And it still runs flawlessly.
I would say one match is still one match.
Sure.
More to be figured out on that. But so far, really excellent performance.
So the only question left for me is, do I leave this aim point on?
Yes.
Or do I switch it? And the alternative optic that I have in mind is that Wolf copy of the Elcan Spectre.
It's a 1-to-4 Russian scope.
It's a 1/4.
Yep.
So you have a 1 power and you have a 4 power. There's no intermediate. And it fits really well on this rifle.
It looks good too.
It does look good. The question really is, do I want the magnification on this?
You know, it's
There's a lot of arguments for it.
as long as the eye relief on the 1X is sufficiently giving,
Right.
that it doesn't matter, then I would argue, I know you're taking a weight penalty, but this is already a beast of a gun.
Right.
Why not take the weight penalty and get the 4X?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So, well, part of the reason we have the aim point on here is to get some practical time on the clock on the aim point.
Yep.
Because we're going to be doing a more in-depth review of the new aim point M5.
And boy, that's going to be a cool video, by the way.
Yeah.
A deep video about the aim point, comp M5 and M4. That's way more interesting than you'd ever expect.
For sure.
Yeah, totally.
So, that's why it's on here for now, and I guess now I have to make the decision of what's the best optic to keep on this rifle.
What about a bipod?
Could do it. This is sort of a floated handguard.
I think you should do what I'm doing with this and try to gamer up
Yeah.
your G3 into, and gamer is a loaded word, but I mean by gamer, I mean make it the most effective G3 variant you possibly can.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do with this.
There's not much to lose by putting one of those Spartan bipod mounts on the back end of the rail back here.
I know we weren't that all positive on the Spartan, but I'm back to it again.
Yeah.
Because it has a purpose, and you're not free-floated, so you have the same issue I have, in that
Right.
you want to have it near the receiver, so it has very little effect on your barrel and your zero.
Right.
Which is why it's down there in the back. But we're going to get way deeper onto this gun. Today
Yeah.
was nothing more than a beta test, and with the exception of stage 1 today being a real learning lesson, got it figured out, which is what matters. And so beta test, I'm going to say it was successful.
Yep.
And I'm going to do a lot more before Hard as Hell's coming up, because bringing this to Hard as Hell 2 gun is a real test of bringing a Kalashnikov into that environment.
No kidding.
So far, so good. And some learning today, which is what the purpose of a beta test is. And the gun really does, at 9 pounds, handles really well. So more to come on that.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, not really a versus match, but both of us shooting the match with different guns for different specific reasons. If you do like this content, make sure to share with your friends. We're available on Facebook, YouTube, Full30, and BitChute. And if you're interested in our Patreon perk levels, or if you just want to help contribute to the show, it is you guys that make it all happen. So you can find that at patreon.com/InRangeTV. Thanks for watching.
Thanks a lot.
Always the last round.